I never thought my life would turn into one of those crazy stories you read online. You know the kind, the ones where everything seems normal until one tiny moment changes everything. For me, that moment started with a simple phone notification. My name is Daniel. I'm 34 years old, and until recently I believed I had a pretty good life. I had a stable job, a nice apartment, and a wife I thought loved me. Her name was Lisa. We had been married for 4 years. Lisa and I met during college. She was funny, confident, and the type of person who could make friends anywhere. I was more quiet, more focused on work and building a future. Somehow we balanced each other. At least, that's what I thought. After college we both moved to the same city. I started working at a marketing company. The hours were long but the pay was decent. Lisa worked as a freelance designer from home. Our routine was simple. Every morning I would wake up around 7, make coffee, and head to work. Lisa usually woke up later since she worked from home. When I came back in the evening, we would watch Netflix, cook dinner, and talk about our day. Nothing seemed wrong. Nothing seemed suspicious. Until about 3 months ago. That's when my company hired a new regional manager. His name was Ryan. Ryan was the type of guy everyone noticed immediately. Tall, confident, expensive suits, expensive car. The kind of guy who walks into a room and acts like he owns it. He was also my boss. At first I didn't think much about him. He was strict, but he seemed professional. However, after a few weeks, something strange started happening. Ryan began asking me personal questions. Not work-related questions. Personal ones. He asked things like, "So Daniel, are you married? Does your wife work? What does she do?" At first I thought he was just trying to get to know the team. So I answered honestly. "Yeah, I'm married. My wife Lisa is a freelance designer." Ryan smiled. "That's interesting." Something about the way he said that made me uncomfortable. But I ignored it. I told myself I was overthinking. A few days later, something else happened. Lisa started acting different. She began dressing nicer even though she worked from home. She started going out more often. When I asked where she was going, she would casually say things like, "Meeting a client," or "Coffee with a friend." Again, nothing suspicious on the surface. But something felt off. Then came the first real red flag. One night we were sitting on the couch watching TV when Lisa suddenly grabbed her phone quickly. Almost like she didn't want me to see the screen. I noticed it immediately. "Who's that?" I asked. She hesitated. Then she said, "Oh, just a client." Her voice sounded nervous. Lisa had never been nervous about showing me messages before. Still, I didn't push it. I trusted her. Or at least, I wanted to. A week later something happened at work that made my stomach drop. Ryan walked into the office smiling. He looked unusually happy. He came straight to my desk. "Daniel," he said, "great work on the last project." "Thanks," I replied. Then he leaned closer and said something strange. "You have good taste." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He just laughed. "You'll understand someday." Then he walked away. I sat there confused. What did that even mean? At the time I brushed it off. But looking back now, that was the moment everything started falling apart. 2 weeks later, the truth started revealing itself. It was a Friday night. I came home earlier than usual because we finished work ahead of schedule. When I walked into the apartment, Lisa wasn't there. That wasn't unusual. But something on the kitchen counter caught my attention. Her laptop was open. Lisa normally closed it before leaving. I wasn't trying to spy. I swear. But then I saw a message notification pop up on her screen. And the name on the message made my heart stop. Ryan. My boss. The message preview read, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." My chest tightened. For a moment I just stood there staring at the screen, trying to convince myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe it was a different Ryan. Maybe it was work-related. Maybe. But deep down I already knew. My hands were shaking when I clicked the message. The conversation opened. And everything I believed about my marriage shattered in seconds. The messages went back weeks. Flirting. Jokes. Private photos. And then the message that destroyed me. "I love sneaking around behind your husband's back." Ryan had written it. Lisa had replied with a laughing emoji. My vision blurred. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. My boss. My wife. Behind my back. 4 weeks. Maybe months. I scrolled further. Then I saw something that made the situation even worse. They weren't just meeting secretly. They were meeting during my work hours. At hotels. While I was working overtime trying to support our life together. I felt sick. Angry. Humiliated. Every emotion hit me at the same time. For a moment I wanted to confront her immediately. But then another thought crossed my mind. No. Confronting them wouldn't be enough. They thought they were being clever. They thought I would never find out. If I was going to deal with this, I wanted the truth. And I wanted revenge. So instead of confronting Lisa, I started planning something much bigger. Something that would expose both of them. Completely. That night I didn't sleep. I just sat in my car outside the apartment building, staring at the steering wheel and replaying everything in my head. Every memory with Lisa suddenly felt fake. Every smile. Every "I love you." Every moment we spent together. All of it felt like a lie. But the thing that hurt the most wasn't just the cheating. It was the fact that my boss, the man I worked under every single day, was the one doing it. The humiliation burned inside my chest. I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going to confront them in anger. I wanted something better. Something smarter. If they were going to destroy my marriage and disrespect me behind my back, then I was going to expose them in front of everyone. The next morning, I acted like nothing had happened. When Lisa woke up, she smiled at me like usual. "Good morning," she said. I forced a smile back. Morning. Inside, my heart was breaking. But I stayed calm. I needed time. Time to collect evidence. Time to plan. Over the next 2 weeks, I played the role of the perfect husband. And the perfect employee. At work, I acted friendly with Ryan. I laughed at his jokes. I followed his instructions. Meanwhile, I started gathering proof. Screenshots of messages. Photos of their conversations. Hotel reservations they had discussed. Everything. The more I looked, the worse it got. Their relationship wasn't just physical. They were making fun of me. In one message Ryan wrote, "Your husband is so clueless." Lisa replied, "He really is." Reading that message felt like a knife in my chest. But it also made me more determined. Because now I knew exactly what I wanted. Revenge. And the perfect opportunity arrived sooner than I expected. Our company was preparing for a huge quarterly meeting. Every department would attend. Managers. Executives. Even the CEO. Ryan was responsible for presenting the company's new marketing strategy. And guess who prepared most of that presentation? Me. That's when the idea hit me. If Ryan loved embarrassing people, maybe it was time he experienced it himself. Over the next few days, I carefully modified the presentation. Not the important parts. Those stayed the same. But near the end of the slides, I added something new. Something Ryan wouldn't notice until it was too late. Screenshots. The messages. The photos. Everything. Then I saved the file exactly where Ryan expected it. The night before the meeting, Lisa told me she was going out. Meeting a client, she said. I nodded. Okay. But this time I knew exactly where she was going. With Ryan. It didn't hurt the same way anymore. Because by that point, my plan was already in motion. The next morning the office was buzzing with energy. Everyone was preparing for the big presentation. Ryan looked confident as always. He walked around the office like he owned the building. At one point he even stopped by my desk. Daniel, he said, great job on the slides. I smiled. Glad you like them. If only he knew. The meeting started at 10 a.m. The conference room was full. Executives. Department heads. Managers. Everyone. Ryan walked to the front of the room and connected his laptop to the projector. Then he began presenting. Everything went perfectly at first. Slide after slide. Charts. Strategies. Growth projections. People were impressed. The CEO even nodded a few times. Then Ryan reached the final section of the presentation. Now, he said confidently, let's talk about company culture and trust. And that's when the next slide appeared. A screenshot of his messages with Lisa. The entire room went silent. Ryan froze. At first he looked confused. Then his face turned pale. Someone in the room whispered, "What the hell is that?" Another slide appeared. The ones where they joked about me. Where they bragged about sneaking around. Ryan started panicking. He tried clicking the remote to skip slides. But there were too many. Every click revealed another screenshot. Another message. Another piece of evidence. The room erupted into chaos. People were whispering. Some were staring directly at Ryan. Others were looking at me. Finally the CEO stood up. "Ryan," he said coldly, "what exactly are we looking at?" Ryan looked like he was about to collapse. I don't know. But everyone knew. Within minutes the meeting ended. Ryan was escorted out of the room by HR. And by the end of the day, he was fired. As for Lisa, I went home that evening and packed my things. When she walked through the door later that night, she immediately noticed the suitcase. "Daniel, what's going on?" I looked at her calmly. "They know." Her face went white. "What?" "Your boyfriend," I said. "My boss." She started shaking. How did you find out?" I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. Then I told her about the presentation. About the meeting. About Ryan getting fired. Lisa burst into tears. But at that point, I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just relief. "I trusted you," I said quietly. She tried apologizing. Begging. Crying. But it was too late. A week later, I filed for divorce. Ryan lost his job. Lisa lost her marriage. And me? I lost the two people who betrayed me the most. But I also gained something else. Peace. And the knowledge that sometimes, the best revenge isn't screaming. It's simply letting the truth destroy the people who lied to you. And that's the end of today's story. Honestly, if you were in my position, what would you have done? Would you expose them like I did? Or just walk away and never look back? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoy crazy real-life stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Trust me, the next story is even more shocking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.